Hi everybody, this is Todd Francis, and tonight in this video I want to give you a tour of the Hayden-McNeil site. So again, we'll click on, you'll open up your class, and again, as I mentioned in the course shell video, the link here, Lab Access, will take you to the Hayden-McNeil site. Click on this hyperlink and it will take you to your login page. Now when you come here for the first time, you will have to create an account. Very simply. And again, although this has my information, when you create your username and password, again, use your student ID number and your 4x4 information. And then you can put more information here. It'll create an account. Then when you log on, it will ask for your login, your access code that was sent to you earlier today on Thursday the 23rd. Please check your email for that code. Since I'm already logged in, since I already have an account, we'll go to the page. Once you get everything started, you are a new user the very first time you come here. When you click on new user, this will be probably where you do insert your access code. I'm an existing user, so I will go to my page, and you will look for the lab simulations for CHE136. When you click on this page, this will take you now to your series of labs. One of the things I mentioned in the Hayden-McNeil FAQ section, the labs are now in order that you will see them in each of the modules. Okay, so there's no need to, we won't have to flip back and forth with this. I've included the introduction to lab simulations, and this is what I'm going to show tonight. I've included this for the new people in the course who are not familiar with late night labs, but I've also included it for those returning students to show you kind of some of the differences from the previous set. We'll click on the first hyperlink here, the introduction, and this will take us to the background for the labs. And we'll do this for each of the labs that you're working. Take time, read through the background so that you see what is happening. For the lab simulations, one of the things that you're going to see for each lab is this very first figure will come up, and you will have to click on them. This is the personal protective equipment. This is the same if you were in a face-to-face class. You would be wearing goggles, you would be wearing a coat, you would be wearing gloves. As you continue on in the background, this gives you information about the workspace. We have a workbench. You will see 3 shelves that have the instruments that you're going to be working with, the materials, the chemicals that you're going to be working with, and the glassware and containers. And you'll have the arrows here that you can use to go back and forth, to move on those shelves. There are some navigation tools that you want to be aware of. And for this introduction lab, there's 3 experiments that you can use to kind of familiarize yourself with each of the labs. So we'll go to the next page, which has our procedures. Now, this is where we have a major change from late night labs. Note the statement in bold. When you click on here, it will open to a new tab, unless you want it to open to a new window. And then what you can be able to do is you can resize your windows so that you can see both going on the same time. Or if you open up in a new tab, hey, it will take you to this and the first simulation. We'll click on Start Lab, and again, here's the personal protective equipment. You will need to click on all of those before the lab comes up. It'll take you to your lab space, and again, here's your chemicals, your instruments, your containers, and if you scroll over each one of them, you will see what's in each of the chemicals. You'll see what containers you're working with, and again, you've got the arrows here that will move, and you can see what more equipment that you have for everything. Now, here's the thing that's going to get a little bit annoying, I'll be admitted. You will, unless you're working with different windows, you will have to go tab to tab as you go through the experiment. Again, what I noted in the FAQ, read the steps carefully. Be meticulous. So, you will see the three shelves, and you can see in step 2, hey, we're going to start with the 150 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask, which is here. So just click on the flask, move it down onto the counter. Very simple. Next step, now we're looking for the 6 molar HCl. That's going to be our materials. And again, we'll scroll here until we find the 6 molar. There it is. Now, when you're bringing containers down and materials, you have to put the container or the material directly in the container, and you will get this pop-up screen. And again, as you go back to the directions, it will tell you to enter in 50 milliliters or just 50, and it'll add the 50 milliliters. There are some scroll in buttons that you can use so you can see the solution in here. Tells us the next step now, and you can see, hey, when they interact, they snap into place. From the material, now the next step, you're going to take the thermometer from the instruments, and again, just scroll over these. Hey, there's my thermometer. And again, we're going to put that directly on the container. Okay, as you are doing these labs, you will need to have paper with you so that you can write down your information. Again, look at the step here. They are asking to record the temperature of the HCl in the flask. So in this case, hey, you'll write down the 21.5 degrees Celsius. The next step, hey, now we're looking for the 1 molar sodium hydroxide, and look what it says. We're going to add 50 milliliters, and again, we're going to see a change in temperature. And look what they're saying here. We want to find that maximum temperature. So again, we'll come back up here to the materials. We're looking for 1 molar HCl. So again, scroll over each of them. There's my 1 molar HCl. I'll bring this down again into the container. It asks me how much I want to add. In this case, we're adding 50 milliliters. And note the temperature increase. And again, remember what the step said. You want to record the maximum temperature. And if you saw that real quickly, it was 26.7 degrees. And again, you'll write that down on your paper. And again, they talk about, hey, if I want to see things closer, I've got the plus and minus buttons here. After the experiment is done, note the step here. We want to clear the workbench. It says we drag each container to the waste container to empty the materials. We drag the container to the sink so that it be properly cleaned. So you can see our waste container down here. We'll take our thermometer out. We'll put it back on the instrument shelf. We'll take our container. We'll empty the waste, and then we'll transfer that container into the sink so that it can be cleaned. I do want to note one thing. Again, I'm going to grab another 150 milliliter Erlenmeyer flask. You'll note what I saw earlier. We took the container and we put it directly in on top of the container. If I was to take that same container and put it on the lab bench, note the statement that it says here. Materials can only be added to the containers. So the materials, the instruments, you're going to put directly on the container that you put in there. Okay, I'm not going to go through the other 2 experiments, but again, you can go through these and note a couple things. Again, you'll have your notes as you're going through. When you finish the experiment, and again, you'll want to go through the experiment in total. It tells us to go back to it tells us to close our browser window, which we'll do here. We want to go back to the course main page. The course main page is the one that we started with. Here's the next change from Late Night Labs. You will have a series of short answer and multiple choice questions that you will answer based on your lab results. We'll go to the short answer real quick so I can show you that. We'll click on the preview quiz. You'll see something with that. And you're going to see a series of questions based on your results. Just fill in the material. Fill in the data from your results. So it's going to be important to you to keep good lab notes as you're going through. Each of the labs will have a series of short answer questions, which are labeled essay. and they will have a series of multiple choice questions. Again, your multiple choice questions will be based on your lab results. Okay, so keep good notes. And again, as you're going through here, once you answer the question, click Next, and that will take you to the next question. Now, at this time, you may see a grade instantly on here. We are still working out a few of the kinks, but I will know when you have completed labs, and I will be able to get your scores, and I will put them on Blackboard as we're going through. Once everything's done, just log out from the session. It'll take you back to the main login page, and every other time that you come to the Hayden-McNeil site, you'll enter in your username, your password, your login, and it's going to take you to the main page. Thank you for watching the video. If you have questions, please contact me. You have my contact information on the Blackboard shell, the instructor contact. And if you have not received an access code yet, please contact me, and I will get that access code sent to you. Thank you, and take care.